Hello students, today's topic is on about immune system. First we must have to know what is immune system. Immune system is the cells, tissues and molecules that mediate resistance to infection. And now the immunity is the ability of the body to protect against all type of foreign bodies like bacteria, virus, toxic substances and etc. which enters the body. Also, it protects us from diseases. It is also called disease resistance. And lack of immunity is known as susceptibility. Immunity is done by immune system, which is made by three components that are organs, cells, and molecules. Organs are tonsils and adenoids, thymus, lymph nodes, spleen, appendix, lymphatic vessels, bone marrow, and cells are T lymphocytes, B lymphocytes, plasma cell, natural killer cell, neutrophils, eosinophil, and etc. And molecules like antibodies, complement, cytokines, interleukins, and interferons. There are two types of immunity, which is innate immunity and acquired immunity. Innate immunity basically is also called non-specific immunity, that we are born with this capability, and it is also called natural immunity, consists of mechanisms that exist before infection and are capable of rapid response to microbes. It comprises four types of defense barrier, that is physical barrier, chemical barrier, phagocytic barrier, and inflammatory barrier. In physical barrier, like skin is a mechanical barrier, retards entry of microbes, and acidic environments retards growth of microbes, and mucous membrane like mucus entraps foreign microorganisms. In chemical barrier, um, body temperature and fever response inhibit growth of some pathogen. Acidic pH of stomach kills most ingested microorganisms. In phagocytic barriers, ingest and destroy microbes by endocytosis and phagocytosis. And in inflammatory barriers, like tissue damage and infection induce leakage of vascular fluid containing serum protein with antibacterial activity. Now, the types of innate immunity. There are three types of innate immunity: species immunity, racial immunity, and individual immunity. In species immunity is the total immunity shown by all members of a species against pathogen. For example, frogs are resistant to bacillus anthracis, while toads are susceptible. And in racial immunity is that in which various races show marked differences in their resistance to certain infectious disease. For example, Negroes of America are more susceptible to tuberculosis than the whites. And individual immunity is very specific for each and every individual, despite having same racial background and opportunity for exposure. For example, one exception is identical twins. Now, the acquired immunity. Acquired immunity is also called specific immunity, and these components develop with time. And is the acquired immunity is the resistance developed in the body against any specific foreign body like bacteria, viruses, toxins, vaccines, or transplanted tissues. It is the most powerful immune mechanism that protects the body from invading organisms or toxic substances. This immunity involves the recognition of specific pathogens or antigens by lymphocytes, which is T cells and B cells, which then mount a tailored response to eliminate the threat. This immunity is characterized by a memory, meaning the body can remember past encounters with pathogens and respond more effectively upon subsequent exposure. And this immunity is also involves the production of antibodies by B cells and the activation of cytotoxic T cells to directly kill infected cells. Now, the types of acquired immunity. There are two types of acquired immunity, which is cellular immunity and humoral immunity. Lymphocytes are responsible for the development of two types of immunity. Now, if we talk about the mechanism of cellular immunity and humoral immunity. In cellular immunity, depends on T lymphocytes. Cell-mediated immunity by sensitized T lymphocytes helps in resistance to chronic bacterial infections. In chronic infections, organism can multiply and survive in phagolysosomes and in viral infections. Now, humoral immunity is antibody mediated immunity, and it depends on the synthesis of antibodies by plasma cells. The cells produce a specific circulating antibody which combine specifically with the antigens and modify their activity. Modified activity is done by lysis of antigen molecules. Their toxins may be neutralized or in the form of removal of antigen by phagocytosis. Um, the two types of lymphocytes are T cells and B cells. T cells, which are responsible for the development of cellular immunity, and B lymphocytes, which are responsible for humoral immunity.